There, Brad, there's only a few minutes left in the Monmouth Park blog in 2010. Let's go to the large ending. He may not win an Eclipse Award this year, but Iskander Reyes simply dominated the Kentucky Derby preps this spring. Did we lose a Triple Crown winner when he was knocked off the Derby trail?
No, we didn't. The soundness issue at some point would have caught up with him. 3 races of that intensity over 5 weeks, it would have done him in. He was a superior talent, but so were many other Triple Crown candidates who were thwarted by the Triple Crown's rigorous physical demands.
I actually disagree a little there. I thought he would have won the Triple Crown. I was at Aqueduct when he won the Wood Memorial. Just a dominant performance, and I think he would have done it.
Well, he was a great talent, no doubt about that. Now, Brian, neither one of us is married, but I do think we learned at least a little something about married life this season.
A little bit. That race call to me just cemented how great of a race caller Larry Culmus is. In the vocal cords of anyone else, that race call would have felt probably a little flatter. Just Larry Culmus, absolutely unbelievable, made the worldwide hit that it was. Brad Goldakova won her 3rd consecutive Breeders' Cup Mile this year and is rumored to be coming back for number 4 in 2011. Are you surprised?
Yes, I totally am surprised at her doing that. She's probably the only outstanding horse in the last 30 years, maybe with the exception of the undefeated Zarkava, that great filly who won the ARC for her final career start. But other than that, I think Goldakova is the only really fantastic horse in the last 30 years who could retire right now and say that they've done all that they need to do, that they have nothing left to prove. She doesn't. The fact that she's coming back is fantastic.
Correct, I agree.
Okay. Now, Brian, you're a lifelong fisherman. What was the saltwater season like this year?
This season, the spring striper fishing, unbelievable. Summer was the fluke season. That left a little bit to be desired. This summer, Brad, European turf horses dominated North American grass racing. Are there any hopes for the Americans in 2011?
Yes, I think there is some hope for the Americans. There were 9 Euros who ran in the 4 2-year-old stakes races on the Breeders' Cup cards, and the best they could do was a very tepid 4th in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. Now that 2-year-old crop in Euros has been touted as just outstanding. Maybe the best ones didn't come over, but the fact that the ones who did performed relatively poorly, I think that gives the Americans hope in the coming years.
It's going to be tough, but we'll see.
Now, Brian, there were lots of tears when Zenyatta lost the Breeders' Cup Classic, but you know what? I think there were even more tears around here when the Yankees didn't make the World Series.
Yeah, that's a real shame.
I guess it is, but I really don't care anyway myself because baseball's been dead to me since they canceled the World Series years ago. I could care less about it.
This summer, Brad, also in sporting news, the King, LeBron James, held a private 1-hour primetime special to announce his signing with the Miami Heat. Have you ever thought of having your own 1-hour primetime special?
Yes, I have. When I'm anointed czar of racing, I will finance that special with some of the increased revenue from my policy of 8% takeout on every wager at every venue. Now, Brian, a Jets and Giants Super Bowl, that's been talked about around here. What do you think?
Possible. I would lean more towards the Jets. I think defense wins. They have a very good defense. Offensive's coming around. Giants, not so sold on yet.
I agree with you. The Giants have a disciplined coach, but play without discipline. The Jets have a loose coach, but play with discipline. I like that combination. And Mark Sanchez, he's a winner. Eli Manning is too, but Mark Sanchez plays beyond his ability. His play late in games when the pressure is on transcends his natural talent.
Within the last 6 months, Brad, both Rachel and Zenyatta have been retired, the queens of American racing over the past 2 years. 20 years from now, will they be remembered as all-time greats?
Well, Zenyatta definitely will. Her reputation and legend will only grow with time. Rachel Alexandra, I'm not sure. Her last impression was as an over-the-top, perhaps over-the-hill athlete. I think people will forget her glory days, even think she was overrated. It's really too bad because I think she was the best 3-year-old filly of all time, certainly the best 3-year-old filly I ever saw in about 40 years of watching racing. Now, Brian, big question. What are you going to do this winter?
It's off the Gulf Stream for me. My first year going down to work in Florida. I'll be in the marketing and publicity departments there, and they're really looking forward to it. Have a great place set up 3 blocks from the track. Lots of golf and lots of fishing.
And you will be a huge asset wherever you go and whatever you do. You've been a stupendous help to me, a wonderful friend, and one of the best, if not the best, colleagues I've ever had in the racing business. And you even did a great job earlier today when I messed up the script and paused when I should have gone going on. Now, as for me, I'm going to be playing the racing game. I'm going to be studying the American Revolution, and I'm going to be looking for those high-paying freelance gigs that the racing industry is famous for.
Well, I appreciate it, Brad, and good luck finding those. Last one, Brad. The world is listening. Who is Horse of the Year?
Well, it's not Blame. You can't run 5 races and be Horse of the Year. Zenyatta only raced 6 times, and I'll give her a little bit of extra credit for that, though the argument that Zenyatta won more grade 1s than Blame holds no water at all. Look at the quality of her grade 1s as opposed to the quality of Blame's grade 1s. But with 2 horses who are limited schedule-wise, I'll give Zenyatta credit for her tough trip loss in the Breeders' Cup Classic this year and her campaign last year. But my actual vote, and I don't really have a vote, but if I did, it would go to Blind Luck. She was top class. She won 3 grade 1s. She ran 9 times throughout the year, from year beginning to year end, all against top company. At Santa Anita twice, Oaklawn, Churchill, Hollywood, Delaware, Saratoga, Parks Racing, Churchill again. She traveled. She sought out challenges. She kept taking on repeated challenges. I think racing has to reward horses who choose to take on those challenges, who choose to compete. Short fields, abbreviated campaigns by horses of all levels are killing this game, and I think we have to do everything we can to reward people for running and taking on those challenges.
I agree with you 100%. Just handicapping wise, Horse of the Year is the same for the Breeders' Cup Classic for me. I will pick Blame. I'll be rooting hard for Zenyatta.